Chapter 40. Journey to Kailāsa and the Vision of Shiva. As the great sage Narada sat before Brahmā, the creator and the knower of the Vedas, his curiosity stirred within him. With palms folded and a reverent tone, he asked, "O Brahmā, the fountainhead of knowledge and the guide for the devotees of Shiva, you have narrated to me the enchanting tale of Shiva's divine sport, the destruction of Dakṣa's sacrifice. But pray tell me, after the mighty Vīrabhadra, the heroic emissary of Shiva, had dismantled Dakṣa's grand yajña and retreated to Kailāsa, what events transpired thereafter? My heart yearns to hear this tale in its entirety." Brahmā, deeply moved by Narada's sincere request, began recounting the events. "O Narada, after the armies of Shiva had vanquished and disfigured the gods and sages present at Dakṣa's sacrificial ground, those afflicted beings sought refuge in my domain. Approaching me, they bowed low, and with voices laden with despair, described their plight in vivid detail. Hearing their lamentations, a wave of sorrow engulfed me. Dakṣa, my own son, had met a tragic end, his life snuffed out in the wake of Shiva's wrath. Torn by anguish, I pondered deeply, searching for a solution. How could the sacrifice be completed, Dakṣa be revived, and peace be restored to the distressed gods and sages? Despite my prolonged deliberation, clarity eluded me. In my despair, I invoked Lord Vishnu, the preserver of the universe, with unwavering devotion. Resolute in my decision, I journeyed to Vaikuntha, accompanied by the gods and sages, to seek his guidance. Upon reaching Vishnu's abode, we prostrated before him, singing hymns of praise. I poured out my heart to him, detailing the calamity and pleading for his intervention. Brahmā continued, "Lord Vishnu, who always holds Shiva in his heart, listened with a serene countenance. Closing his eyes, he meditated upon Shiva before addressing me with wisdom. O Brahmā, aggression against one as mighty as Shiva is neither wise nor fruitful. The gods have erred grievously, for they partook of the sacrificial offerings due to Shiva, thereby invoking his wrath. The only path to reconciliation lies in sincere repentance. You must lead the gods and sages to Kailāsa and humbly fall at Shiva's feet, seeking his forgiveness. The grief of losing his beloved Sati has wounded Shiva deeply, and Dakṣa's harsh words have added salt to his wounds. Yet Shiva's benevolence knows no bounds. If you approach him with a pure heart and sincere repentance, he will undoubtedly restore Dakṣa and allow the yajña to be completed. Remember, neither you nor I nor any embodied being can fathom the true extent of Shiva's power. His independence and self-sufficiency make him the greatest of all. I too have committed offences against him, and I shall accompany you to Kailāsa to seek his forgiveness." Brahmā described the momentous journey. With Lord Vishnu leading the way, we, the gods, sages and myself, began our ascent to Kailāsa, the celestial abode of Shiva. The mountain loomed before us, a sight of unparalleled magnificence. Its peaks, encrusted with resplendent gems, sparkled in the sunlight, casting a divine glow. The vibrant hues of its mineral-rich cliffs painted a mesmerizing tableau. The mountain was alive with the calls of myriad birds and the graceful movements of deer. Celestial damsels frolicked in its pristine pools and springs, their laughter harmonizing with the gentle murmur of flowing streams. These waters were sanctified by the holy river Ganga, descending from the abode of Sati and purifying everything in its path. As we approached, we beheld Alakā, the radiant city of Kubera, Shiva's devoted friend. Nearby lay the enchanting Saugandhika forest, resplendent with divine trees whose fragrances filled the air. Beyond the forest flowed the sacred rivers Nanda and Alakā, their waters capable of absolving sins with a mere glance. Finally, we reached the sacred fig tree of Shiva. Towering 100 yojanas high, it stood as a symbol of eternal shelter. Its shade was cool and unbroken, offering solace to those who sought spiritual refuge. Beneath this divine tree, Shiva sat in profound meditation. As we drew closer, Brahmā continued, our eyes fell upon Shiva. He sat cross-legged on a seat of kusa grass, his serene visage radiating divine calm. His body was adorned with sacred ashes, and a Rudraksha garland dangled from his wrist. His left leg rested over his right thigh as he displayed the Taka mudra with his hand, signifying ultimate wisdom. Around him gathered the siddhas and saints, their faces glowing with devotion and tranquility. Kubera, the Lord of Wealth, stood nearby, accompanied by Shiva's faithful attendants and kin. Seeing us approach, Shiva rose with grace. Despite his supreme stature, he humbly bowed to Vishnu, his closest companion in preserving cosmic harmony. Vishnu, in turn, prostrated before Shiva, followed by the gods, sages, and myself. Shiva's countenance was radiant with compassion as he welcomed us. He, the refuge of the virtuous, listened intently as we, led by Vishnu, expressed our remorse and sought his forgiveness. His presence inspired awe and devotion, and even the mightiest among us felt humbled in his divine company. Brahmā paused, his voice tinged with reverence. Thus, O Narada, Shiva's magnanimity shone like a beacon amidst the turmoil. He who wields the power to create, preserve and destroy is also the epitome of compassion. It is in surrendering to his will that we find solace and salvation.